Hey everyone, Jabman025 here. Today I'm taking a look at my 107th Master Grade, the RX-78-2 Gundam version 3.0. I decided to do a recolor on this particular kit, give it a custom job. In this case, the real type color. The real type is a variant color of the original RX-78-2. It's popped up in different kits around here and there, and I kind of liked it, so I decided to give it a custom job. Now, starting off, when you pop out the box, I thought this would be a very polycap heavy kit, considering how posable it was, but no, very light on the polycaps. The core fighter, very familiar to the 2.0 kit. The 2.0 core fighter was virtually perfect, so not a lot to improve on here. You can see the recolor starting. I have the black there. The canopy does open on this core fighter, as does the missile pods on the back there. And the pilot inside, I later repainted that. I decided to repaint the pilot, but I'll tell you why in a bit. Torso, you see, I decided to keep the real grade look to it. Keep the alternate colors. You can see two shades of red there, a dark red and a cherry red. I got a black and then a dark gray. And I keep that theme going throughout the kit. You'll see as we go through. One thing I really like they did on this kit, for the thrusters on the back, they put little clear parts in there. And first I thought that's going to look really bad. I painted those clear parts red, or in a clear red, and they look really good. So if that's a sign of things to come, I like that. That's a good look. Now you see it does have a light piping system. This kit was designed for an LED. But it did not come with one. This really should have came with an LED. This is one of those kits, if you're going to introduce a new yellow LED, one that nobody has yet, you kind of need to use it. Alright, since it didn't, I decided to go ahead and repaint it. You can see I painted the back silver, the back of the eyes, and then I painted the front, obviously, in black, and then a clear yellow, kind of gives that glow gold through it. So obviously I will not be using an LED on this kit, but you can if you want. But it's not included. On this particular kit, you can see is very complicated. The elbow joint in particular is one of the most frustrating builds I've ever had, just because you got to get things just right. And the thing is, a lot of the complexity is just for the sake of being complex. It doesn't really add anything to the kit other than being complex. That being said, it is really detailed on this kit. I mean, way off the charts detailed. The different parts you can use, the detail work. You can see the paint scheme, again, the green, the dark green. I just matched what was already there. There was a white and a gray and then a darker gray. Technically, with the real grade color scheme, the whole parts that are white should be gray, but I decided to just leave them as is since we had the white and the dark gray and so on and so forth. The head is really detailed. There's no painting you got to do there. That's how good that head is. It's beautiful looking. 3.0 hands, which are a blessing and a curse. They're really tough to get, loose and ready to use, but once you do, they will hold on to any accessory without fail. Should talk about that in a bit. Legs on this kit, I had to redo the sides of the legs and the knee, and the entire skirt armor got redone. Again, the dark green, light green. The yellow actually stayed the same, no change there. There was actually 3 colors of green on the leg. You see a light green, a dark green, and almost a gray green down there. There's 3 colors of gray, so I had to use 3 colors of green. A lot of work put into that. You can see the copper parts on the back of the leg and the bottom near the feet. There's other parts on the elbows and the different joints. They give you stickers for that, but I'll talk about that in a second. Let's just say that. Ankle armor. Repainted that as well. They give you different option parts for those joints on the knee. You can use different parts you want to use. There's lots of options with this kit. It's another thing I like. They give you option for this, option for that. You can do things any way you want. Now, one thing I particularly liked, core block. I tried a core block. The one thing I really wanted in 2.0 they didn't give me was a core block. Well, 3.0, you got your core block. See, I repainted the pilot in there, so you can actually have the core fighter outside the Gundam, and it still works all right. Why they didn't give me a core block in 2.0, I don't know. Seemed easy, but whatever. We got the core block. I'm happy. Now, there is some lining to do on this kit. And I made a bit of a mistake here, so don't follow my example. I clear coated it with a matte top coat and then did the panel lining. You see, it kind of made things a little dirty. I had to go back and do a lot of cleaning. So don't do that. It was a stupid mistake on my part. What you're going to do. But as you can see, balance, yeah, just as good, if not better, than the 2.0. Do whatever you want. The posability on this kit is insanely good. Elbows go anywhere. Shoulders go anywhere. Hips go anywhere. Knees, big bends out of the ankles. You can get any kind of pose you can imagine out of this kit. It's a really, really high pose kit. And you can see them all put together here. You can see there's a lot of detail work needed on this kit. Granted, I did a custom job. If you didn't do a custom job, you wouldn't have to do squat. But this kit took a long time for me because I decided to customize it and keep that real grade look. So if you're going to do any kind of customizing, lots of work to do. Decals. I was talking about those copper decals. They give you these parts for the different decals throughout the kit, and these decals stink. I mean, they're just bad. I put them on the kit, and they almost immediately started peeling off. I don't know why they didn't scale up so well, but they didn't. The real grade decals were great. These aren't. They also don't give you those silver parts. They had silver decals on the real grade. Not here. No. I don't know why they failed so miserably. I don't know if they just didn't scale up well. Whatever. The decals I do give you, see, a lot of the decals they give me, I had to just kind of put wherever I wanted. They do give you lots of bonus and option decals, which I'm always for. But I kind of, made things up because of the recolor I did. Some of the decals just wouldn't work. You couldn't put a gray decal on top of a gray piece. It wouldn't work. Core Fighter, you see, I went ahead and painted the landing gear and went in there and painted the pilot. Gave him a green suit. I guess if I'm recoloring the Gundam, I can recolor the pilot as well. The gun, they changed the gun up a little from the real grade, which I like, because the original real grade Gundam beam rifle I thought was just hideous. The way they changed it. This, they redid it. A little darker gray, not so much of it. I was originally going to repaint it, but when I built this, this ain't so bad. So they changed that up, so maybe I wasn't the only one who thought that was hideous. Bazooka, pretty standard, well detailed. See the missiles on the back. Good attachments, good decals. Nothing spectacular, but nothing terrible. Good bazooka. Shield is very, very detailed. You see the lining like the real grade. Give you some nice decals. All sorts of attachments on the back. It has a sliding guard that'll cover up the visor. Really, really good shield. Really highly detailed. You can see him standing there next to his real grade cousin. The real grade is more detailed. It has much better decals, but it doesn't have the posability this thing has. Real grade, you're almost afraid to move it. This guy, however, the 3.0, you can put him in any pose you want. Go anywhere, do anything, perfect balance, no problems. Good kit. Looks really good. Now, holding the accessories, like I said, 3.0 hand, double-edged sword. It's really, tight and takes a lot of work to get loose and mobile. But once you do, attaching the accessories is a breeze. You can see there's a little clamp for the shield there, hooks on the arm, but the attachment for the handle of the gun, no trouble whatsoever. The backpack has this little piece here that flips around. As so, there it goes. You can see a peg there, and the shield will plug onto the back. And that looks nice. I was worried that would be too heavy, but no, holds it up fine, no problem. You can take the beam rifle and plug it into the shield so it's holding, and surprisingly, it will hold it up. I thought that'd be way too heavy. Nope, no problem, holds it fine. The bazooka, no real problem. Like I said, has that same attachment in the hand. Once it's holding onto it, it will never drop it. You can rest it on the shoulder, but you don't have to. See more posability, big bend to the knees, big bend to the hips. You can do all sorts of different poses with it. They do exaggerate a little bit in the manual, but they tend to always do that, so you can't pull off all the poses they show you, but still really good. Now, you notice accessories. What are we missing? Beam saber. Okay, they're there. Red blades, not so much the pink. Two things we are missing, though. No Gundam hammer, and no beam spear. Action base. Nice connection. Get him airborne. You can see he can hold all the weapons. He's not really resting that bazooka on his shoulder. Hold the shield in the backpack, the beam rifle, the bazooka. Looks really good. I kind of wish they gave a Gundam hammer. What you going to do? Now, compared to the 2.0, the 3.0 is better. I'll go ahead and say it. It's a better kit than the 2.0. Is it, leaps and bounds better? Not really. It's more detailed. I'll give it that. It's just about as posable. Both are good. But, like I said, 3.0 is better, but it's not exactly, leaps and bounds better. There's a much smaller gap between the 1.0 Gundam and the 2.0 Gundam and the 2.0 and the 3.0. Or even the 1.5 and the 2.0. But still, really good kit. Looks good. Final thoughts on this kit. This kit has some issues. I kind of think they should have included an LED. They didn't. I kind of think they should have included the Gundam hammer and the beam spear. They didn't. You got to buy an extra accessory pack if you want that. The decals stink for the most part. There are some good ones. The ones that are bad are awful. They should have had some silver coated decals or some silver foil. They didn't. The copper decals they gave you stink. All that being said, this still gets a thumbs up, and this is still your new leader for Asteroid Kit of the Year. This does something I didn't think was possible. It makes it a super high detailed kit and a super high posable kit. I really don't think this is a replacement for the 2.0. This is more of a replacement for the 1 Year War Gundam. For those of you who remember, in my 1 Year War Gundam review, I said, if you don't like the old school look of the 2.0, here's your option. Well, not anymore. If you don't like the old school look of the 2.0 Gundam, this is your new option. Well, gang, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review. Hope you found it informative. If you got any questions, please ask them. I'll answer them as best I can. Let me know what you guys think of the recolor. Do you like the new look? Please stay tuned for more. Always got more reviews coming. And thanks again, guys. I'll see you next time. Oh, and one more thing. I'm a 3.0, baby. I'm more advanced. I'm more detailed. I got better weapons. I got better hands. What do you got to compare, huh? Well, I've got a beam spear and a Gundam hammer. Do you have one of those? You suck. What are you complaining about? At least you still have a body.